Hi everybody, thanks for swinging by the channel today. It's great to see you again. For the next couple of days we're here in Jasper. I was going to show you some of my favourite hikes here in the area, but unfortunately the smoke from BC has moved in, and those wonderful Canadian rocky views that I was hoping to share with you will of course be obscured by smoke. So instead we're spending the next couple of days here at the Wabasso Campground. We're going to be doing some camping stuff, we're going to be doing a couple of gear reviews, so I hope that you'll stick with us and then come on this journey with us. Now when we go camping, our gear is pretty simple, and we usually come along with the 3 dogs in tow too. So let's go take a look at the typical kind of things that we take on a camping trip with us. So first and foremost, when we go camping, the most important thing is the shelter. And today we're using the Kuma 6-man tent. And this is perfect because the fly sheet keeps us dry should it rain. And of course there's plenty of space in there for both me, the hubs and the dogs. Now we do have 2 other tents which were a lot cheaper. We bought those from Walmart and they serve us just as well depending on what camping trip we decide to do. Okay, so this is the living area. It's got a nice little porch. I'm 5'6" and I can just about stand up in here. But if you're any taller than 5'6", then you will be crouching a little bit. And this is the sleeping quarters. There's our little girl Tilly. She does love her camping. And that's one of the things we always make sure of when we go camping, that we do have plenty of blankets and plenty of room for the dogs. And we do have this double air mattress for them to sleep on. The hubs and I tend to sleep on these single mattresses. My husband uses the Trichology sleeping mat. He's a side sleeper and they're perfect for side sleepers, and he does find that very comfortable. We also use the Ecotech insulated mat, just in case it gets a little bit chilly at night, and of course it does add that extra comfort. And of course a sleeping pillow, because you never like your head going downwards, and this is also Trichology. These Teton Sports sleeping bags are absolutely brilliant. They are winter sleeping bags, but they can be a little heavy, so they're not suitable for backpacking. But for camping here in Canada, they're absolutely perfect. We made the mistake of not taking them on a summer camp a couple of weeks ago. We were actually quite chilly, so even though they are winter bags, they're perfect for the summertime too, especially when those cooler nights move in. Now when we do go camping, we do like to do our own cooking, and we tend to take this single burner Camp Chef Striker 200. It uses both propane and butane gas, and as you can see it's just a single cylinder. And we do bring a double burner with us as well, just in case we decide to do something a bit more complex when it comes to cooking. But as you'll have already seen, we also do like to use the Firepit for cooking. And of course, it goes without saying that you always bring the camp chair so that you can sit around that campfire and enjoy your campfire beer and some sing-songs. Now, some of the better quality camping gear that we do have with us on this trip, we will be doing a more detailed review at a later date. So please do consider subscribing and hitting that little bell to make sure that you don't miss that over the coming weeks. So we're now heading out to Maligne Lake, and there are lots of really nice hikes here. I was hoping to show you some of them today, but as you can see, those mountain peaks still look a little hazy thanks to the smoke. So I'm just going to have a little wander along the lake shore instead, and let these pups have a bit of a paddle in the water to cool off a little bit. Now this stretch of road may look familiar to some of you that have watched my earlier videos. I did of course run along here during the winter months when I completed the 183 kilometre Snow Queen Ultra, and things sure looked a little bit different back then. It was of course much colder, lots more snow around, but what an adventure that was. So we've just been out to Maligne Lake to have a look around and just see what things are like given the smoky conditions. And now we've stopped off for some late lunch here at the river's edge. Talking of smoke, let's cook some Smokies. These are going to be beer-based Smokies. I'm just going to wait for that to heat up now. This method of cooking Smokies is inspired by a fellow Albertan YouTuber, and I think some of you may know who that will be. Okie dokie, so these look like they're done now. I'm going to turn them off, and we're going to have them with some mustard on a bread roll with some chopped onion. Now, Old Fort Point is another great little hike here in Jasper, and it's also another one of my favourites. You can either be done as an out and back, or you can do it as a looped trail if you're taking those forest trails too. It's very dog friendly. These three are having a great time up here, admiring those views and watching these white water rafters heading down the river. And yes, you get some fantastic views from up here, but yep, that's smoke. Well, we've had a great day out in Jasper today, and it's now time for supper, and we're going to be having some steak with corn on the cob and a nice jacket potato, and we're going to be cooking that on this UCO FLATPACK fire pit and grill. And the good thing is, it comes with some instructions. And it also comes with this great little carry pack to make things easier to pack away when you're setting up or taking it down and you're heading off camping. So we're going to get the fire going, and then we're going to pop this grill back on and start some cooking. So we're going to start building the fire, and what's nice about this is that you can use pretty decent sized logs to get things going. We can use some fire starters. And let's get things lit. See, make sure you don't burn yourselves. Okay, so we'll bring you back once this fire is going properly. So while supper is cooking and the fire's starting to get going, I'm going to take you on a little tour of the Wabasso Campground. And one of the things you'll notice about the campground is the lack of trees nowadays. This is because the pine beetle has killed off a lot of the trees here in Jasper. And this is a beetle that came in from BC. And what Parks Canada have done is actually cleared a lot of these trees to save the rest of the vegetation around here. A lot of people are a little bit disappointed about that, but personally I still think you get that wild feeling. And one of the nice things is that you can actually see the mountains now instead of being hidden by the trees. Now, there's approximately 230 spots on this campground, and most of them are unserviced, and they are of course suitable for tents or RVs. And it's a very popular campground. It does get booked up very quickly. It's approximately 5 or 10k outside of Jasper town site, so you get that sense of being away from town, but you're also close enough if you need any of those urgent supplies. Now, they do have some little trails around the campground where you can go off and explore, and they also have these information boards, and they're pretty good for helping you find your location and find out what there is to do in the area. Some people also are saying that the lack of trees means that you don't have much privacy, and that is one of the issues that we've been having a little bit of difficulty with. And of course, as with any campground in the Canadian Rockies, you do have to be bear aware. They do have bear bins, if you like, or bear storage, or whatever you want to call them, if you don't want to leave things in your tent. And that's all available here free of charge. And they also have washrooms, but they don't have showers. It's actually quite a large campground. You can go for a good walk around here. This end tends to be a little bit more RVs, and then down the bottom end is predominantly campers and tents and backpackers. Now, because of the pine beetle killing off all the trees and them chopping down so many of those trees, they have huge wood piles. And what they're doing this year is including free wood in all reservations in 2021. This is going to take some getting through, but I can't think of a better way of getting rid of that infestation. And here is one of those little hiking trails, and this one actually takes you down to the Athabasca River, and there's a nice little walk that will take you around to the edge of the campground. It's a couple of miles long. It's actually very pretty early in the morning or on an evening such as this. And this is great for if you've got dogs with you like we have, and you get a lovely little walk in with them. Have a paddle in the river. But as you can see, it is extremely fast flowing. Now, this campsite costs around about $35 per night, which we think is pretty reasonable. It doesn't have fancy swimming pools, it doesn't have showers, but it does have those fire pits and that outdoor feel. And at the end of the day, what do you come camping for if not to live the basic, simple life? Okay, so I'm now back at camp, and as you can see, the fire is going. We did have to give it a little bit of encouragement by adding some kindling and using the pocket bellows, but fortunately we're getting some embers there now, and we're getting ready to put the potatoes on there and to get the steak cooking, and of course the sweet corn. We are on a campground, and you may hear that generator in the background. We do apologise for that, but generators are a thing of the day, so I suppose we just have to live with it for now. Now we're going to put the potatoes straight on there. Watch you don't burn yourself. Okay, so I'm going to get the steak ready now. I'm going to put some foil down. I'm going to add some of the Kinder seasoning. Just going to put some of that on the foil first. And then we're going to add some good old Alberta steaks to it. And we'll add a little more of the seasoning just on the top. So I'll just wrap these in the foil now. Just moving them a little closer. Add another little sheet on the top of there. And then they're ready to cook. And of course we do have corn on the cob, and we're going to be putting this straight on the grill once it's ready. So far it's making a very good efficient use of the wood that we're putting on here. It does need a little bit of supervision to get things going, but that is a learning curve for us for next time. So I'm now going to transfer these potatoes onto the grill, and we're going to get the steak and the sweet corn cooking. There we go. Yep, I can actually hear the steak sizzling in there, so this is clearly doing something. And it's definitely giving out plenty of heat to get things cooking properly. Okay, so we'll leave that for a few minutes and we'll come back to it. So in the main, the UCO FLATPACK grill and fire pit is very easy to use. We did have a little trouble getting the fire going in terms of getting the airflow going there. It may have been because the logs were just slightly too big and they perhaps needed to be a couple of centimetres shorter. In terms of the heat given off, it was absolutely great for cooking. The food was very tasty, it was definitely cooked, so we have no concerns there. And for less than $50 from Amazon, we're certainly very happy with it. We do intend to use it again, and we do intend to have some more fantastic campsite meals. So now it's time to wash these dirty dishes and then chill out around the fire and have a beer or two. So there we go, we're all packed up and ready for home, and we've left no trace, which is very important of course on these campgrounds and when you're in the great outdoors. If you've enjoyed the past couple of days here camping with us at Wabasso, please do consider subscribing, because we do have more of the same kind of thing planned over the coming months. And of course we will be doing some winter camping this year, which may be of interest to many of you. And of course hit that little bell and like this video and share away too. For now though, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all again next time.